In this video we're going to be looking at how to identify a fake TAG Heuer watch. Let's use this watch as an example. I'm not sure if all Heuer watches will be this obvious. It becomes obvious when you use a loop. We notice these hour markers here, these metal hour markers that look something like this, when they have a ridge down the middle, which is fine. And then that leads to a square with a circle of lume in the middle of it, luminescent circle in it. Several things, when you're looking down the sights of one of these hour markers, the square should be dead center in the middle of it. Also in these squares, the lume should be dead center in the middle of the square. Now, very few TAG Heuers will have this design necessarily. There's countless variations. But look at the details. Is it lined up? Now, in this case, no, on this watch it's not lined up at all. And when you look down that edge of that hour marker, that square and that lume dot aren't lined up very well. And as I've already mentioned, the dots of lume should always be dead center in those little rectangles. This is just an example. Your Heuer watch will probably have a different design, or the one in which you anticipate buying. Another way to tell that this watch is fake, well, the poor build quality of it, but then you could say that just came out due to wear, lack of taking good care of it, I guess. Now here's the back of the watch. Well, notice that I think one of the best ways to know when you have a fake TAG Heuer, or at least be suspicious of it, is to be well acquainted with Heuer watches. And this back here is automatically a little bit suspect. A lot of the TAG Heuer watches will be a little bit more domed and kind of a thicker metal, as well as a slightly different metal composition. It has a different look to it. And also it's not usually this glossy. Let's go ahead, and this is the most obvious way to tell if this is a fake. If you're looking at a Heuer watch and you're at a jewelry store or pawn shop, you can ask them to remove the back of the watch. Don't do it yourself, because if something were to happen, they're going to blame you and they're going to end up having to pay for the watch. Ask them, say, I'm very interested in this Heuer watch, but I'll only be interested in it once I see the movement. This is a dead giveaway, of course. Alright, there it is. It's obviously a fake Heuer watch. You have this cheap plastic thing, the movement's not signed, and when you look at the movement, instantly you'll tell that it's a cheap Chinese movement. Anyway, it's not Heuer. The next way you can tell is you look up this number, this sequence, whatever sequence codes that are on the back. You look that up, you type it into your phone, and it'll match up, or should match up, with other watches that look exactly like it. Here this one says TN7656. So whatever you do, whenever you go to buy one of these things, you just want to look up that number into your telephone search and see what comes up. It should look like the watch on which is presented before you. This one here, you type that in, a completely different watch shows up than the one here. So in review, look for things not lining up right. If you're talking about a $2,000 watch, or however much these cost, I don't know how much they cost, but whatever it is, it should be, lined up perfectly. There's also, when it comes to the TAG Heuer insignia there, it looks really suspicious to me. A lot of times TAG Heuer uses thinner lettering than that, but that's hard to tell. This isn't lined up. Everything should be lined up. The number on the back doesn't match any other. It doesn't match this. The movement is El Cheapo, cheap Chinese. The build quality, this isn't there. Yeah, this thing is overly shiny. Let's see, seems like there's something else. Also, when I was looking at this, I saw a small hair on the dial. Now, that's not a dead giveaway. Or it would be. If you saw a hair in a Heuer, it would be, but this particular watch has probably been taken apart 10 times, and it could have been, I'm sure, I doubt seriously that when this thing left the Chinese factory it had that hair in it, but just look for things of that nature. Whenever you're dealing with any watch, even a Timex would have things lined up perfectly. This is suspicious. When you go to look for watches, bring one of these. If you come across a pawn shop, a coin dealer, any business, and they're not willing to take off the back of the watch, that's really suspicious to me. And then you look at it, and obviously that's not a Heuer movement. There's other things that we could look at, but I think that's sufficient. I hope that you found this video helpful. Well, it's kind of a quick video, but anyway, well, thank you for watching, and have a good day.